think one thing that Mbadi is doing that the previous guy wasn't doing as much is he's communicating, and that was one of the things that we had complained about in the last protest, that politicians are doing things without like explaining. At least Mbadi has tried. Like I think in his post he is the most open politician that has been. Like in case kungekuwa na fraud watu angeshauliza. Some people just opposing the finance bill without even reading through it. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But at least it's better than what we had in 2024 or in 2020, like before the maandamano. Because it's the pinpoint. Anajua hapo penye government karibu ichomekee, so they'll never make that mistake. At least the government knows and he's abiding by it. He's communicating. He's available. All it was available for any questions from the journalists, from the people, from the media houses. Like it was, he's been open for criticism.
How are we going to raise this 1.01 trillion Kenya shillings, given that we are also exceeding our runway as far as foreign or international debt is concerned?
Yeah, actually it is 1.1 trillion, 1.11 trillion. That is the deficit that is being proposed or projected. Yes, there is still opportunities under revenue collection and domestic revenue mobilization because we still believe and we know that KRA is not performing optimally. Remember, there was a period of time when we were collecting about 18% of GDP as ordinary revenue. Now it has come down to just, slightly over 14%. That means clearly either A, we are not efficient in tax collections, or two, the businesses have moved from the normal tax regime. We must devise strategies of now collecting taxes from businesses which have maybe moved more informal or more digital. And that is why you see us talking about broadening the tax base to bring in people who have actually literally are supposed to pay tax and they're not paying taxes.
And it's true, there is a big chunk of people that maybe should pay tax and they're not paying. But now the motivation for people to pay tax in Kenya is very low. Like it's almost like a burden, because what do they do with the tax? So that's the issue, and why at times I understand why some people might want to evade tax. But we as a country, we need it, and it could be better if they were collecting it and doing good things with it.
But you see, the problem again in this country is when now you try to bring those people in, and there is a lot of noise, and the noise comes from people who are not those other people. Those actually, it comes from people who are actually paying their taxes. But there are people who are not paying taxes and they try to cushion them. And I think that is wrong. We need to allow broadening of the tax base, bring everyone who is supposed to pay taxes. There should be no excuse or at all, because those of us, you and I, who are on payroll, we pay taxes, and we have no choice. We cannot even, there's no discussion. But there are people who also make even probably more decent income than what you make actually go scot-free. And that is one thing that we need to avoid. So we are working around that space. Looking at the finance bill today, you will see a lot of reforms in that line. And again, also, we are doing a lot in terms of administrative measures at the KRA to make sure that it becomes more efficient. But now, coming to your question about how do we plug this deficit, obviously, deficit can only be financed through two things, because that is the deficit after grants. You can only finance it through, actually, you finance deficit through one thing, that is borrowing. But the borrowing can be both domestic and external. External borrowing is not very certain. Now, first,
Damn, Ruto alipata gold mine na huyu jamaa. He's like, he knows what he's saying. Like I think he's good at his job. Like that you must give to him, whether he's stealing or not. But he's good at his job. He understands what he's doing. You know, he understands. Like it sounds almost like an economics class.